What are you doing over there, Sean?
Checking out this van. Come on.
Looks enormous.
Come on. Come on.
Alright, hang on, I'm coming. Well, welcome back to another Abus and Beyond tour of, this time we're going to be looking at the Dreamer Capland. Now we've been really excited to look at this one because it's another Ford based vehicle. Now I know you guys love the Ford Nugget, so it's going to be really interesting to see what you make of Dreamer's idea of what the Ford should be. Starting at the front, you've got the typical Ford Transit stylings. It looks pretty cool, but it looks pretty standard. It's also in a nice silver colour, this one. But the engine is actually a 2 litre, 130 horsepower. It's a diesel, and this one is also an automatic. Working our way down the driver's side, you will notice that it's pretty standard wheels on this one in particular. Then you've got obviously the driver's door, some quite nice Dreamer decals on the side. It also has the Select, which is the upper class model. And moving down, you've got a sliding door here, but interestingly, you'll come around the other side, you'll also find another sliding door. You've got the Capland decals here too, and although this here looks like a window, it's not actually a window. This is a wrap, this bit here, so it must be hiding something very special back here. You've got the electric cable hookup, which doesn't get hit by the door when it opens, which is always good, obviously. One thing to notice as well is it's got a awning on it. This is a Fiamma 35 awning, great awning. I don't know if it's just me, but this window looks absolutely huge. So I think these are slightly wider than something like your VW Californias or your Mercedes-Benz Marco Polos, that kind of thing. But it's a nice tinted window back here. Plus you've also got a reversing camera. You've also got parking sensors, more decals on the back, but also it's a tailgate design, which again, we've always liked, because if it's raining and you want to put things in and out, then it means you are at least sheltered by the rain. I do apologise if you can hear my child just talking to himself in the background, but he is a chatterbox, so I can't wait until he starts doing his reviews. But on this side, you've got the water inlet. You've also got the Truma outlet. Now that is actually just for the hot water boiler. It's a Webasto diesel heater for the heating inside. So that's a blown air heating system, but it's different to the Truma boiler system, which is for the hot water. Again, you've got another window here that isn't a window, it just pretends to be. But you've also got another sliding door on this side, which is really good because there's also an awning rail here. Now that's nice to see because it means you could have the sunshade essentially the other side, but you could also have a proper awning on this side, an enclosed one if you wanted to use that as an extra bedroom or something like that, but you could also have it as a place to eat, that kind of thing. So it's nice that you've got awnings essentially on both sides. That could make this quite an interesting vehicle. But that's enough of the outside. Let's take a look inside this awesome vehicle.
Right, there's loads to see inside this Capland, so let's crack on and take a look. Let's start at the front. So as Lizzie mentioned earlier, it's an automatic gearbox in this one, 130 horsepower, and the Ford Transit is actually really smart inside. Cup holders everywhere, loads of storage. You've got sat nav in this one, air conditioning as well. So yeah, it's a really nice place to sit and really eat up the miles. Now you'll notice I'm sat on one of the captain's chairs. There is actually only one captain's chair in this one. This seat does not spin round, but that's because you have an extra bench seat anyway as part of the full dinette in the Capland. So this swivels. The trim is fantastic. You know, the leather on this is really, really good. You've only got one armrest, which is on this side, which would be in the middle, obviously, if you're driving. So bear that in mind. One thing to point out, the head height is limited here because the roof actually kind of continues back and then it becomes the pop top. That maximises space at the back, but when you're sat here, you just don't forget when you get out that seat. Right, as we move back, you can see I'm sat in the dinette. It's a full dinette, this one, because you've got an extra sort of double bench seat there, which is a real clever design. And then you've got this double seat this side. Now it's quite narrow, it's not massive, and obviously, as you can see, if you sat this close to the window, head height is a bit limited here because of this bit sticking out. So that's a bit limiting. But this seat is fine here, so maybe a couple with a child, that kind of thing, travelling might be a bit easier. This table is really sturdy. Yeah, that's really smart. We mentioned earlier that we've got an extra door this side, so you can imagine eating with that door open. Gives you a nice view as you're having your lunch. You've got blinds on the windows, so they fold down and they actually clip into the bottom here, like so. So yeah, they're pretty good. I mean, yeah, you can see a little bit of a gap, but that's not bad at all. I've seen much worse. They're far better than the kind of blinds you get in a Marco Polo, that's for sure. You've got a strip light above, which gives plenty of light, again, for if you're playing cards in the evening or anything like that, or reading. But probably the most exciting thing about this is the way it makes up into a bed. So let's check that out now. Right, let's see how easy this is to do. Find out if I fit in it. Let me take my shoes off.
I bet you fit in that.
I'm 5'11". Oh yeah, easy. Yeah, that's alright actually. But obviously this is all well and good for a single bed, but what if you want to make a double? This is like one of those puzzles, you know, where you have to move stuff around to make it all fit. I've actually miraculously found another cushion. Ta-da! It's not. This must just be the infill cushion. Look at that.
The square bit.
Look at that. Tetris, Tetris, Tetris.
Well done.
So there you have it. And then you've got an enormous bed. You're going to need a big sheet to hold all the bits of Tetris together. But yeah, that's a big bed, isn't it? But
and I doubt it would take nearly as long if this wasn't your first time making it.
if you knew what you were doing. But you get the idea. I think it's really easy to make into a single bed. That's pretty good. But yeah, you obviously really need to know what you're doing if you're making a double bed. You can still access the toilet. You can get down here. I haven't told you there's a toilet yet, have I? But there is one at the back. You can still get down here to use the toilet, and you can also make yourself a cup of tea in the morning as well. Right, let's put it all back together again and carry on with the tour. What I do like is the fact that Dreamer have really thought about putting storage everywhere. So if you lift these cushions out of the way, there's even little pockets here, look. That's quite big. That's quite a big amount of storage. Same underneath the travel seats as well. So yeah, pretty good. Just ahead of the kitchen is the gas locker, and there's actually a little cushion on top of that, which is quite nice. So you could use it as a somewhere to put your shoes on, sit down and put your shoes on. But you lift that cushion up, which you saw in the bed making process, and then you've got a locker. Lift that up, and that's where your little gas bottle slots into. That tends to be a bit of a theme of the Dreamer vans. They tend to have the gas lockers right near the side door. But also ahead of the gas locker, you've got a little slot to put magazines or flip-flops, that kind of thing. So it's a small bit of storage, but it's quite nice to have. So let's have a look at the kitchen. It's your standard Dometic sort of combi sink and 2-burner hob setup, which makes it really easy to clean the hob. You can just wipe it straight into the sink. Incidentally as well, the sink actually has hot and cold water, so it's nice to have hot water when you're doing the washing up. It saves having to go to the washing up facilities on the campsite, so that's nice. Above the sink and hob, you have another one of those strip lights, which gives plenty of light in there, and you also have a bit of a glass protector that just protects the worktop from any cooking spills that you have there. Now there's loads of drawers underneath the hob. Starting with these small ones, which are not actually drawers, they're kind of like little storage pull down bits, but this one is a drawer. So you've got space for your cutlery in the one on the right, and also a little bit of space to put bits alongside that. Like I say, you've got plenty of drawers. In fact, as far as drawers go, you've actually got one big one for your cutlery, and then you've got another 4, well, not exactly drawers, but this one's a drawer, nice big deep drawer, and then that storage, it's got cutouts there for bottles, so you can actually put bottles of wine in there if you fancy. So that's quite nice. Quite a few cupboards. Now obviously you've not got a huge amount of prep space. In fact, you've got a tiny bit of prep space just to the left of the sink. You're very close to the table, so you can use that, but there's also a nice little pull-out spot. So you've got a bit of extra prep space there as well. Underneath that little worktop, you've got a 3-pin plug. I like the fact that they've actually inverted it as well, because the things that you're going to be plugging in are going to be above the actual plug socket, so that's quite a nice touch. Then you've also got a 12-volt socket underneath that as well. Now what I would like to see is a window here. There is no, as Lizzie mentioned, it's just a wrap on the outside, but when you're cooking, it'd be quite nice to be able to look out that way. Now as we move back, you've actually got a compressor fridge at the back here. It's quite a small fridge, it's not massive, but big enough for a van of this size. And then you've also got a freezer compartment in there as well. Underneath the fridge, there are 2 tambour doors, which have got a nice big amount of storage in as well. That you can slide it. You can easily access them as well from the back when the back door is open. Opposite the kitchen, you've got the main storage, I suppose. It's a full-size wardrobe, really. It's pretty good. You've got a hanging rail in there, but you could easily hang stuff up in there, which is quite nice. And also, this is where you will store the leg for the table when you've not got it in place, whether that's because you've made the bed up or just because you don't want it in place when you're travelling. Now this is the party trick, I suppose, of the Kapland. It actually has a proper toilet, proper cassette toilet. You move that cushion out of the way, which you can sit on if you want to look out the back, I suppose. This folds up out of the way, and then yes, you've got a proper cassette toilet. Obviously, you need to be pretty familiar with the other person that's staying in the van, because you're going to be rather exposed, but at least you've got a nice view out the back window when you are doing your business. Above the toilet, you've got a cupboard which houses, well, you put all your toiletries in there, I suppose, and also you have the shower attachment, because yes, it also has a shower. Now if you can see, I'm currently stood on a shower tray, so you can lift this bit up and that is an actual shower tray under there. What you would do is you would attach your shower into this socket in here, control it from there, and then you could actually have a shower in here. Now, the likelihood of someone doing that is pretty slim, but what it does give you the option of is, because it's got a tailgate design, you could have a tailgate awning on the back there, attach your shower, and then, yeah, much better, have a shower here, and then you're not too worried about getting the rest of your camper van soaking wet. Now, above that cupboard that we just spoke about, you've got your control panel. This one is sort of all the information about the van. It's got battery information, water levels, that kind of thing. As we move further to the right, this is the Truma boiler control. So this will actually do your hot water. So you can set it at 50 degrees, 70 degrees. And so that's purely for your hot water. And then that's for your Webasto diesel blown air heater. They work really well. As long as you've got diesel in the van, you've got heating in the van. Now, as we mentioned earlier, this is a reverse pop top, but it's got a clever little hinge design there. It actually hinges this portion up out the way as well, rather than just a regular pitch, which just gives a bit more head height down at that end of the van. I like the lights that are on the side. That gives plenty of light in here, and then obviously it's full head height when you get back to the shower and toilet area. If I pull this down, there we go, hinge down, and then that is your pop top bed. So it's, looking at it, it's definitely not as wide as a California, but I would say it's probably just under a small double. Yeah, you've got windows either side that you can open, and then you've also got this window at the front, so you can see out. This does have a cover, so you can close that off obviously at night time, so it's nice and dark. I like the fact that it's a black side canvas on these. A lot of vans, California included, has a light grey. Well, it used to anyway. You've got more options now, but it used to be a light grey. And there's always the concern when you are when you've got your lights on inside that you are sort of creating a silhouette on the side of the van of whatever you're up to up there. So, at least with this one, it's very dark and no one's going to see you. Now, talk about those lights on the side here. These are actually reading lights that you have, which are useful when you're cooking. A bit of extra light, but yeah, that's also your light when you're up in your pop top. You've got one that side, and then one on this side as well. Right, let's have a look at the back of the Kaplan. You've got a couple of little trays here. That's quite nice to be able to store things. They're metal, so they're very strong. You can put things in there. And then these are your curtains. You just unpop them. They're actually attached to the van rather than the window. But yeah, that gives you a bit of privacy at night time, and then they just magnet close like that. Obviously, this part of the van will cover this bit, so you don't need to worry about that.
Why are you escaping?
Harvey. Just back from the toilet, there's actually a little shelf here as well, which looks about the right size to put your loo rolls, so you can pop them in there. And then just here, this isn't actually a cupboard, this is just where your cassette toilet goes. Now, one thing that came up in the comments on the Ford Nugget video was the fact that with the roof down, you couldn't really use the kitchen. You would have to crawl around on your knees to get to the kitchen. And that differs to your traditional layout, where you have like the California and other vans like that, where you have a bench seat at the back and the kitchen at the side. You can just sit there and you can still make a cup of tea. Now, where the Dreamer differs is the fact that, so if I bring this roof down now, yeah, like that, this, you can still reach the hobs even when you sat down with the roof down. So that actually is something to consider when you're making your mind up whether you prefer this Dreamer or the Ford Nugget. Now let us know in the comments below what you think about the Capland from Dreamer. If you're interested in buying one, make sure you check out Harbour Creek in the description below. Huge thank you to Harbour Creek for letting us film. Make sure you check out our back catalogue of videos. We've got loads of different tours, reviews of different motorhomes, different camper vans, and also our fantastic travel videos where we go all around Europe and all around the UK. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Please share this video, it helps us out so much. Yeah, hit that subscribe button down below and we shall see you in the next video. Thanks so much for watching.